Alrighty. Well, I believe the estimate that I had for this game was 13 and a half hours. And I am definitely, yep, 13 and a half hours. Huh. I mean, I guess you could beat the game in 13 and a half hours or much sooner than 13 and a half hours if you're skipping through all the text and whatnot. I'll be super quick. All right, let's play a game. And I gotta sneeze at some point here, so I'm gonna watch out for that. Having reassembled the photo, Luke and Layton are able to confirm what the Elysian box looks like. I don't know how they can confirm that though, because like they don't know what the box looks like, so they're just assuming. It's not a confirmation here. This is a hypothesis. Um, Shortly afterward, the two bump into Barton, who tells them Chelmy has found the doctor's murderer. At the request of the inspector, Luke and Layton head back to the hotel. The sneeze is like, it'll be here soon. We're not doing all the non-required puzzles, or better at math puzzles. I hear that, man. I hear that. Alright, I think you said I'm only missing one ingredient. Last time, it's been a whole weekend. Plus I spent 5 hours playing Dota Underlords on Saturday. Up to like 12:30. Had a good time with the game though. It was fun. You know exactly who. You know exactly who has it. Leela, the girl on the left here. On the previous screen now. Okay. No one in this town ever wants to do anything with me, so I'm always all by myself. It stinks. What do you say, mister? I know a pretty good game called Solve the Puzzle. Wanna play? Volume's still super loud for me. Alright, let's get into this. A number of identical cans are hanging from a tree. While all the cans here may look empty, one is actually filled with water. See if you can find it. When deducing your answer, ignore the weight of each string and stick. Okay, so this is another math puzzle. I need to... Supposedly all these cans are identical. So I just need to figure out... So my first answer here is A. But I don't think this particular spot makes very much sense. Because you would think... You would think that this would be tilted down. But I don't know. You don't even? Just an educated guess and you got it? Yeah, I don't, A seems like the likely culprit here. Because it feels like this is a balancing type of thing. And so, if there's water in this one, it is taking the weight of these 3 cans. Whereas this side, you got 2 cans, you got 2 cans. So... But then again, you got 4 cans on this side. But... the string location over here might... The string location might be... the big thing here. because like these strings are in the center. So you got two cans here. If they weigh the same, they're going to, you know, balance themselves out. I'm not sure if the distance of the length of the string matters at all. I would assume it doesn't. And so with that in mind, this side definitely is perfectly balanced in my opinion. So it definitely has to be something over here. Now, this string over here is closer to this can, which leads me to believe that if A weighed less, no, I think the closer it is to the string, the more it has to weigh. Trying your first guess can generally be good. Not like you care about picker rats. You know, I guess that's true. So I'll go with A.
Now to test my theory.
Okay. Hey.
A true gentleman leaves no puzzle unsolved.
Nicely done. The answer is A. The biggest stick connects to the branch at a point left of the center on the stick. 4 cans hang from each side of this big stick. However, because the string connecting the stick to the tree is left of center, the set of 4 cans on the left must be heavier than the 4 cans on the right. A, B, C, and D all hang from the left of the big stick. However, judging by their distance from the string attaching them to the large stick, it must be the heaviest. All right. So I was definitely on the right track, like 100% there. So I'm very happy with myself on that one. For the record, I solved it as quickly as you did. If I just went with it. So the distance on the stick from the places the strings are tied. Yeah. 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 Oh, I knew that puzzle was going to be too easy for you. But I'm just a kid, so what did you expect? I don't know any harder ones, but some of the grown-ups in town might. Come back over here. Did I miss any puzzles? Nope. You just had someone give you a puzzle for giving them the right tea? What is this madness? If that kid gave me a puzzle, that means I need to talk to everybody. Check the antique shop. I don't remember whose shop that is. Close to the hotel. Got it. Okay. Once T10. Got it. Herbs in this tea are outstanding. Whether it be herbs or antiques, items of great quality never fail to inspire the human heart. One prime example of this is a rare and ancient text I have in my personal collection. The puzzle hidden within its pages has fueled the imaginations of men for generations. They're not convinced? Here, have a look. You know what they say, seeing is believing. Please don't be 80 pick rats. Alright. Oh, it's kind of hot. An ancient map depicts the possible spots of a vast fortune, as well as directions. Inscribe the numbers 1 through 6 in the map's blank spaces so that each set of numbers in a straight line has the same sum. You can use each number only once, and the sum must be the largest one possible. Then, go to the spot marked 1, for that is where you'll find your treasure. The number 4 has been filled for you. Circle the area where the treasure is hidden. All right, we need to memo this for show. All right, so it needs to be the largest possible. One through 6. And timer, right. Thank you. So can't put 6 in any one of these spots, because that will make this go to like 11 or something like that, and that's not going to work out. So 6 has to go in one of these spots. We're going to put a 6 over here. Okay. And if a 6 goes here, then we're probably going to want small-ish numbers over here. So let's go with, let's say 3. Try a 3 right here. Okay, so that forces this to be 9. So we can maybe put a 1 here for a 10, which means we would have to get a 10 this way, which would be 3, so not possible. So go back to 6 over here. Well, actually, I could put a 6 right here and still go with 10. So if I put 6 here, and I put 3 here, no, 10's not going to work. I need 2 3s in order to get 10. Or 6 here, 1 here, 5, 3, 2. I believe that is our answer. 6. One, 5, 3, 2. So this one would be our choice here. And let's go with that.
And now to test my theory.
Hey!
A true gentleman leaves no puzzle unsolved.
Oh, nice. Got it. So you have 3 sets of 3 numbers and 1 pair, which all need to be the same highest sum. Not so bad at math puzzles after all. You know, sometimes I can just get it. You know, this one was kind of interactive a little bit. You did it. The treasure is buried in roughly the center of the map. The sum you need to work with was 10. You could organize the numbers so that each line add up to a total of 9, but that wouldn't get you the highest sum, or the highest possible sum. Woot! Here we go with these suckle food dogs. He said, blah, 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 blah. Here comes that sneeze. In a town as steeped in greed as Fulsense, meeting someone like you is a true breath of fresh air. Alright. To the hotel then. Nothing left to find anywhere else. Except for a lady with tea. Alright, so a strong tea with dream fluff. He needs tea 11? Oh. What a jerk. Ah, Mr. Layton. So glad you could finally join us. With you here, we now have every suspect in the murder of Doom Schrader gathered in this room. I have a feeling he's going to suspect us, because he's just clueless like that. A few days ago, renowned archaeologist Dr. Andrew Schrader was found dead in his London home. His murderer is still at large, but look around you. You could very well be sitting next to the culprit. A suspect? Me? Utter nonsense. What reason could I possibly have to kill a man I don't even know? Bit slow on the uptake, eh? Mr. Beluga, every person in this room is after the Elysian box. That box ties each of you to our dead man, so there's no doubt that one of you here did the deed. I'm sure putting this case together has been a triumph of police work, Inspector. So tell me, what facts have you unearthed in these last few days? Watch closely now, Mr. Layton. This is how we unravel mysteries in Scotland Yard. You have my full attention, Inspector. Please, hypothesize away. I first learned of Fulsense through evidence obtained in the late doctor's office. According to his notes, Schrader spent quite some time in town researching the Elysian box. When I learned that he died shortly after returning home to London, everything came into focus. I believe our criminal first spotted the doctor when he was inquiring about the Elysian box here in town. Buying a chance to obtain the coveted box, the fiend followed the doctor to London and murdered him. Now that's a deduction worthy of London's finest. So out with it then. Who's our man? Hold your horses, I'm getting there. To summarize, the culprit must have been to Fulsense before. What's more, this person must have also had the ability to travel freely between here and London. Now, as we all know, only those affiliated with the Momentary Express have that ability. And now all eyes turn to Mr. Beluga, eh? Well, turn them back. Mr. Beluga stated he was in London conducting business that day, and his alibi checked out. But if it's not Mr. Beluga, that's right, our murderer stands before us. Alright, who am I gonna guess? They're probably gonna point to the conductor, but I think that is a misdirect. I just don't know who's in attendance here. So that's giving me a hard... It's making it harder to figure out who it is. I guess I'm gonna go with the cook for now, because I just don't know who else is here. Name is Sammy Thunder. Yeah, I'm still going with this as a misdirect. What? You gotta be kidding, man. I know Mr. Beluga has ordered you to turn over every stone in this town to find the Elysian box. He worked you like a dog, and you resented that treatment. So you decided to beat him to the punch and make off with his precious box. This is an outrage. Samuel, what do you have to say for yourself? I'm being framed. You're out of your gourd, man. Now I see why the box eluded me for so long. You've been holding out on me, Samuel. No, I haven't. I swear on my favorite leather pants. Come on, Unco. You know me. I'd never do anything that crazy. You'll have plenty of time to tell me your story back in London from a cell. Now come along. So it was the conductor after all. I didn't think he had it in him, but at least we can all rest easy now. Professor, do you really think Sammy would have committed such an awful crime? Well, all we have to go on is this torn photograph recovered from the doctor's room. Oh, so that's the Elysian box. Wow, very fancy. I like the cute goat design on top. Oh my. Flora. Yeah, how do you know about that? Thank you, Flora. I knew something didn't feel quite right, but thanks to you, it's all come into focus. Really? Do tell, Professor.
Oh, come on, officer, man. My only crime is rocking, and rocking ain't a crime. Yow! Let me go.
You come along quietly if you know what's good for you.
Just a moment, Inspector Chelmy. I believe we've all committed a large and rather unfortunate oversight.
Can't you see I'm in the middle of something right now, Layton?
Where are you going with this, Professor?
No one here has ever seen the Elysian box that we've been looking for. The one and only piece of visual evidence we possess is this torn photograph.
And get to the point.
The point is this, Inspector. The only person who could know what the Elysian box looks like is the suspect you're after. And it is this person who must have stolen the box in the first place.
Yes, and I've got the slippery fellow right here.
Ow! Take it easy, officer.
Pipe down, you hooligan.
And watch the hair, will ya? Wow!
Sorry to disappoint, but he's not the culprit.
Score.
What? Stop talking in circles and get to the point, Layton. Who should be wearing the handcuffs?
Isn't it obvious? If the criminal does indeed reside in our midst, he or she would be the only one of us to see the Elysian box in person, which means the culprit.
Flora.
Must be you there.
What? Flora!
Inspector, look here.
That's the photo I dropped.
Indeed. This, for those who don't know, is a piece of evidence recovered by the inspector. It's a photo of the Elysian box, and I have every confidence that this shot depicts the real thing.
So, this little knick-knack here is what started the whole mess? To be honest, it's a bit outlandish for my taste. What with the bizarre frog head on it.
Aha!
I see you've put the pieces together too, Luke. Inspector, the emblem decorating the top of this box depicts not a frog, but a goat.
A goat? Not by my eyes, it doesn't.
That's just it. This photograph is missing the piece containing the goat's eyes. In its current form, the image looks like a frog to most people, as was the case with you, Inspector. Flora, dear, I believe you said the design looked like a cute goat, did you not? Well, that clears things up nicely. If you say you saw a goat, that must mean you've seen the real Elysian box before. Who are you really?
I'm gonna give that laugh a 2. It could have been better.
Well played, Layton. I'm sure you're very proud of yourself for seeing through my disguise again.
All right, so like we knew this was a thing. All right, but I never mentioned it and I never said it because of how ridiculous it was that this guy could pose as Fiora or Flora or whatever her name is. Like like look at his face and then go back and look at Flora's face. How do they do it? You know? And so I thought, like, this game has been, it's been relatively grounded on realistic, air quotes, possibilities. There was some, you know, like robots with personalities and things like that. You know, like that stretches the bound a little bit. But this is borderline magical powers. You know what? No, it is magical powers. So yeah, this is where the game crumbles right now. Curse you, Layton. Curse you and that foppish hat of yours. Don Paolo. I beat you to the box, and given a little more time, I would have beaten you to cracking its secret. And of course, the Herzen fortune would have been mine. But that ship has sailed now. So you're the one who had the Elysian box all along. Another brilliant deduction from Layton's apprentice. Clearly he's learned from the best. But yes, you're right, little man. I stole it off that old fool while he was snoozing on the floor. The geezer probably caught a cold sleeping on the ground like that. Not that I care one iota. Snoozing, but Dr. Schrader wouldn't sleep on the floor. Hey, wait a second. If you've been posing as Flora, then where's the real Flora? Well, she's probably making hay angels with the cows in that old dropstone barn I left her in. Or maybe she's just sitting there fuming because you bumblers didn't even notice we switched places. But I must thank you two dolts for your help. You've given me more than enough information. The jig may be up, but the dance is far from over. I'm so close to unlocking the secret of the Elysian box. Now I need to merely take this box to the... Hold it right there, you scoundrel. Got a lot of questions. You will answer them once I've escorted you back to London. Where do you think you're going? Got you, you slippery devil. You meddlesome oaf. You have no idea just how slippery I can be. Don't just stand there, the worm's getting away. Fool, did you really think a soft-bodied flat-foot like yourself could catch me? So long, Layton. Think you can give me the slip, eh? I'll catch you yet. Wait for me, Inspector. Yeah, it's totally ridiculous. Don Paolo breaks all logic. I agree. You know, like, come on, people. Wow, look at the three of them shake a leg. I didn't think they had it in them. I must say, I never once suspected Don Paolo has been posing as Flora, and for so long. I sure hope the real Flora is okay. We absolutely can't forget to pick her up on the way back to London. Of course we won't. But I'm sure Flora's having a grand old time playing with the cows. Another thing I can't get out of my head is what Don Paolo said about Dr. Schrader. The way he was talking, it didn't sound like he killed Dr. Schrader. But if he didn't, who did? I think you're spot on there, Luke. Something else is responsible for the doctor's death. Right now, I'd say the Elysian box is the key to learning what that something was. And I guess we've reached a dead end. If only Don Paolo hadn't run off with the Professor, look. Well, look at that. Don Paolo must have dropped it when he was running away from the Inspector Chelmy. So this is it, the Elysian box. At last, the box. Inside sleeps the key to uncovering a massive family fortune. I beg your pardon, sir. Mr. Layton, I'm going to ask you to hand over that box now. As a son of the late Duke Herzen, I am the rightful owner of that box. This box belongs to the Herzens? You hard of hearing, boy? Inside this box is the key to cracking the secret of the Herzen fortune. Seeing as how I share the bloodline, that box should pass into my hands and no one else's. Oh my, that does change things. I suppose we'll have to... Mr. Beluga, listen to yourself. You're no more entitled to that box than I am, or any other person in this room for that matter. You listen here, Porter. This is none of your business, so I suggest you keep your opinions to yourself. No, I'm sorry, but I won't stand by and watch you claim that box as your own. If anyone has a rightful claim to that box, it is the current Duke of Fulsense himself. Besides, I've heard about you. You turned your back on this town and left of your own free will. In my book, your claim to the fortune was lost the day you walked out of Fulsense. That's not how these things work. Oh, is that so? You've got some nerve, buddy. If what Cran says is true, I'm afraid I can't hand this box over to you in good conscience, sir. Hey, Yonko, what do you say we give up on chasing this box? Keeping stuff on the DL is exhausting. Don't you tell me how to run my affairs, Samuel. You've forgotten who signs your paychecks. Never even wanted to be a conductor in the first place. Plus, playing errand boy is getting old, man. It's more than a guy like me can take. Sammy Thunder wasn't born to work a 9-to-5 gig. Sammy Thunder was born to rock. Hey world, I'm climbing back to the rock train and riding it to the top. Samuel, what are you babbling on about? Come back here at once. I'm sorry, Mr. Beluga, but I think I'll have to hold on to this box for the moment. Fine, do what you want. Hope that awful box curses all of you twice over. Alright. We've acquired the box. So firstly, we did miss a puzzle, which will go to Granny. Secondly, there's a camera puzzle in the hotel room. Excellent. Excellent. The villain who made off with the Elysian box was none other than Don Paolo, brilliant scientist and self-proclaimed nemesis to Professor Layton. To find riches associated with the antique, he disguised himself as Flora and tailed Layton and Luke. Oh, Dante's come to share the bloodline, and he's a box. Beluga was searching for the Elysian box, which he believed would clue him in on the location of the Herzen family fortune. As a member of the Herzen family, he felt entitled to any family riches, though some people in Fulsense disagree strongly. It seems Don Paolo wasn't responsible for the doctor's death in the end. Again, a hypothesis. He said so, but he's also crazy. Maybe it really was the Elysian box's fault after all. Yes, it sounds like the doctor had already collapsed by the time Don Paolo arrived on the scene. Perhaps you're right, Luke. The box could very well contain a lethal element that killed the doctor. But without seeing the box's effect in action, how can we be sure? Surely you don't mean... I do, Luke. We must open the box ourselves. It's the only way. Please just hold on a moment. Katya? Is there any way I can convince you to let me have that box? It's of vital importance. Now I get the stepping. Before I do that, I would need to know more first. Why is this box so important to you? Sorry, it's not for me to say, but I must deliver that box to somebody important. Must. Who is this person? I can't tell you anymore, but once I'm done, I'm certain this awful curse will go away forever. The curse will end, and everything will be over and done with, and heal. Whatever do you mean, dear? Help. Somebody, anybody. Come quick. Somebody else just got taken away to Herzen Castle. The vampire there's gonna suck his blood? Doesn't read right. And he's gonna steal his soul. Why did it have to be him? Why? He was such a stand-up guy, too. What? No, that's impossible. Wait, Katya, where are you running off to? Wow, she sure left in a hurry. Maybe all that vampire talk scared her. You know what she was talking about? I feel like I could only follow half of what she said. I'm as confounded as you are, Luke. But after our discussion, I am doubly sure that this box contains a greater secret. The path to understanding everything lies right before us. While potentially perilous, opening the box seems to be the only course of action left to us. Understood, Professor. Good. Let's take this to our room so we can open the box away from prying eyes. Ugh. The box is radioactive. Very well could be. Why is it that way? Although I like to believe that there's just a man-eating anaconda.
Finally, the ventilation box.
Indeed, Luke.
I can't look. No, 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 no.
Huh?
Huh? The box is empty, and we're still alive.
Then it would seem my theory was correct.
What do you mean, Professor?
Must head back into town and do a bit more asking around. I need to confirm my suspicions. And of course, he's not going to tell anybody his theory, which means that his theory is not correct because he didn't tell anybody about it. If you just keep it to yourself, then is it really a theory?